Michael, could you call the roll, please?
Ms. Bucks?
Here.
Ms. Shakarian?
Here.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Here.
Ms. Rashid?
Here.
And Mr. Parker?
Here.
All right. Our first order of business is the approval of the minutes of the Joint Finance and Human Resource Committee meeting of 10/15/24, the regular board meeting of 10/17, and a special board meeting of 11/4/24. There's no additions or omissions. I move for adoption.
Second.
Ms. Bucks?
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian?
Yes. Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes,
Ms. Rashid?
Yes.
And Mr. Parker?
Yes.
thank you. At this time, I move to adjourn to executive session for the purpose of discussing pending litigation with counsel and the compensation of public employees. Do I get a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Ms. Bucks?
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes,
Ms. Rashid?
Yes.
And Mr. Parker?
Yes.
thank you.
Oh my God. There's a new sub, I was about to tell you, there's a new sub shop that opened up called Edgewater Subs. You'll have to go check it out. I haven't gotten to eat in there yet, but I'm sure it's very good. It's a really nice vacation. There's not a place like that near there. I know, I was like, I'm gonna sit over here. That was? No, actually, there's some others are great. There's so much what they do on a daily basis.
Yeah, I think she's going to do that in her period of time. I can actually bring it up in the director's report as well. Have it on my list.
Just 1 minute and I'll be ready. I said 1 minute, I can't start the meeting without.
The Cersei is down right now.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. At this time, we're going to move out of executive session.
Shouldn't be that. Should be
Ms. Butts?
Yes.
about
Ms.
CPL.
Shakarian?
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan?
Here.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Here.
Ms. Rashid?
Here.
And Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Okay. At this time, I move to temporarily suspend the regulations because there was no joint finance, human resource, and community service meeting. I move to temporarily suspend the regulations of the Board of Trustees in Article 9 and 10, requiring referral resolution to committees to consider the following resolutions.
Second.
Ms. Butts?
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian? Mr. Corrigan?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Rashid?
Yes.
And
Which
Mr.
one is
Parker?
Yes.
It's number 14.
We do have a very, very special guest. Which one?
15.
15. So we're going to go out of order, if that's okay. In Ms. Fryer's absence, and I'm sorry to jump, could you please read we're going to jump to number 15, if you could please.
Resolution to recognize limited English proficiency measures. Should I read the whole?
Whichever, whatever.
I will read. Whereas organizations that receive federal funds have an obligation to comply with Title, I am so bad with names, 6 of the Civil Rights Act, which, among other things, prohibits discrimination on the basis of national origin. And whereas discrimination on the basis of national origin can take many forms, including language-based discrimination, which occurs when an individual with limited English skills is denied meaningful access to programs and services because English proficiency is a de facto requirement to access and participate in such programs and services. To be it resolved that the Board of Library Trustees expresses its continued commitment to providing the highest level of service and access to all members of the community, including those whom English is a second language, and applauds the work of the library staff in implementing the measures described in the resolution, further instructs the library administration to continue to improve access to library services and programs for patrons with limited English proficiency. I'd now like to ask Joe Simperman, the president of Global Cleveland, to please come up to the microphone.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Thank you, members of the board, for this opportunity. Really appreciate it. Thank you for your service. Thank you to Director Thomas for being so accessible in so many ways and really making Cleveland Public Library something that every citizen is lucky enough to encounter. Speaking on behalf of Global Cleveland, an organization that was established about 15 years ago to work with the need for welcoming even more international newcomers. And we use that phrase a lot. And Commissioner Rashid knows this because we have people coming from all over the world, and they're coming here on visas as refugees. They're coming here as people who want to seek a better life. They're coming here as secondary folks who maybe moved to another city that didn't have as good of a library system as we do. And they're coming here because they want to make sure that they have that opportunity to experience 1948 was a big year for welcoming newcomers to Cleveland. We haven't had a year in terms of the amount of people coming since 1948 until 2023. Because of our sisters and brothers coming from Afghanistan, because they're coming from Ukraine, speaking both Ukrainian and Russian, Afghanistan speaking Farsi and Pashtun, obviously so many people coming from Syria, from Jordan, from places where Arabic is spoken, and our Hispanic family members, our folks coming from Venezuela, Guatemala, Mexico, and Puerto Rico, the library plays an even larger role. This resolution to recognize limited English proficiency measures is so key because, as you all know, in 1980, Cuyahoga County had 4 congresspeople. As of this election, we have 1.25. When our demographics slip, our power in Washington slips. This has nothing to do with anything other than growing our community, economic development, and making people feel welcome, as many of our family members were. What I'm really thrilled about is that the branches that you've listed here are places where we know a lot of community participate in. Executive is thinking like this, and our library is thinking about this. I think more people are going to realize this is a place where they can find harbor, and especially as we go through the next year and the year after that, people will know that all are welcome here. So thank you very much, Mr. Thomas. Thank you to the board for considering this important resolution.
Thank you, John.
Blue streaks forever.
Do you mind? And I'm sorry.
I second
We
the,
should be-
Oh, yeah.
Not all, we'll figure it out. Thank you.
Ms. Butts?
yes.
Ms. Carey?
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Rasheed?
Yes.
And Mr. Parker?
Yes.
All
I am
right.
so happy about this. Thank you, Director Thomas.
Thank
and
you.
the
That is,
staff.
yes. You've been pushing for this one too. I know you have. Thank you. We're going to go back into the top. We have a presentation for Tana, please.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much. I'm very, very excited to come back to you all. You obviously had approved the resolution to invest in our website. So I am very, very, very excited to say that CPL, the newly designed CPL.org is now live. And so thank you to all of you for the investment and for believing in the redesign. So next slide. I did just want to do a quick overview of what we did. You can obviously look at cpl.org to see the final product, but just going back to the redesign goals, we wanted to make things easier for patrons and visitors to be able to find the information they wanted to find. Make it easier for our staff to be able to showcase the many different resources, events, and things that they can do at the library, and do it in a way that it was inclusive and also speaks to our wide audience. Next slide. So these are the phases that we went through in terms of the design to get to where we are today. So it was really discovery, design, development, and test and launch. And this is just to show you that it wasn't just something that where we just decided to just go off in the corner, come up with a couple of ideas and make it real. So we really tried to make sure we talk to the people who are using our website, talk to our staff, talk to folks who come into our buildings to really understand how they were or weren't using our website, and then understand from a design standpoint, how do we use best practices when it comes to websites, and then incorporate the feedback that we got from our many different perspectives to then be able to come up with something that is good for the library. So I won't go into detail about each one of these phases, so let's just keep rolling. Next slide. So for discovery, that included a design alignment workshop, editorial workshop, a survey. The Hotjar survey was for the users of our website currently, staff and patron interview sessions, and then another staff survey itself. So a huge thank you to all of the staff who contributed, who were sort of thinking about what to do, what the issues were that we're facing, and really kind of it helped to shape where we ended up with our website. So next slide, please. And this was our DEIAB charter. So this was also helping to guide our decision making and making sure that we were aligned with our policy around DEI and making sure that we were setting directional goals and principles when it came to establishing our new site. Next slide. So design, next slide. We went from looking at the architecture, then looking at our wireframes in terms of where the information should go, and then we finally came to the visual design. So we really came to that last because we really wanted to focus on where does information belong, how do we use best practices when it comes to websites and what you find to be able to create what we ultimately have. So next slide. So you'll see a simplified architecture, and that is really based on best practices for websites today. And it's also based on how people are using our site and how we also want to make sure that we're using that it is from the lens of the user perspective. So next slide. And this is just the drop-down menu of the primary so that you can see it if you go to cpl.org. Next slide. One big difference is that instead of listing our subject departments, we are actually inviting guests to look at and do research by topic. So when they go to the individual page, they can see all the different things that they might be able to research at Cleveland Public Library. And then underneath each one of those individual pages, wherever they can find information about that topic, that location is listed on that individual research page. So that is a change for our site. Next slide. So this is just your homepage view and just a couple things. We still have the banner up at the top for urgent all system news. There's easy access to the patron account. That is the top place that people visit. Simplified navigation. And then also we really wanted to make sure that we still had an opportunity to showcase the wide variety of things that you can do at the library. So having a place to be able to highlight a major event and share the latest library news and also remind people that we have many upcoming events as well. Next slide. And then further down the fold, you also have what we would like to create as regular sections. So regularly sharing bestsellers or staff picks, seasonal news, featured collections, or featured services. So our big next step is to work with staff and with to be able to manage the content and make sure that we continue to keep it fresh and we continue to make it things that people want to come back to see over and over again. We can skip over development. Why don't you keep, that was just making sure that everything was, all the links work and all of the different platforms that we use were syncing together harmoniously. And then in conjunction with that, I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you to CleveNet, because while we were working on CPL.org, they were working on the catalog experience. So there's a new catalog search experience through Aspen Discovery, and that was something that was rolled out at the end of October. So it makes it a lot simpler for people to be able to find their books, put them on hold, create, favorite lists and those types of things.
If I can say something, your one public comment that we have is a comment that is angry about Aspen. But by far of all of the changes in catalogs, this has been the fewest bad comments that I've received about anything. Generally, anytime there's change to anything on how they go about looking for something, there's 15% of people who are going to be upset about it. And I just have not seen that level of change. So people have appreciated the new Aspen.
Well, there was only one negative, out of there, just one comment.
We've had
Everybody, a lot of
Yes.
people don't like change. So is that really,
And we expect people
Yeah,
to
yeah, of
contact us and
course.
say, where can I find, where is this information, whether it's our own staff or our patrons, just because it is a change. But I do think, this is an evolving it's not meant to set it and forget it. It is meant to be a live and evolving piece of infrastructure that we have to be able to communicate with our patrons and our users. So we'll continue to update them. There are things that we have found that didn't migrate over. So we have, just like Don Lang has his punch list after a construction project is finished, we have our punch list to make sure that we go through and make sure that everything is functional.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next
Thank
slide.
the IT.
I think that's pretty much, but what's up next is content management, making sure we work with staff to kind of have a process in place to be able to keep our site updated. And then we're turning next to our staff intranet. That needs an upgrade as well as a reorganization and redesign. You can end the slide presentation. So, any questions?
I just have, I guess, a comment, like question. The website's great. I think it also, to kind of complementing the resolution that we just did with when Joe Simperman from Global Cleveland was here, the switching of languages is very easy. And you may not know this answer, but I'm just curious for people who say are accessing the CPL website from their phone and their phone is already in a different language, so like in their native language. Do you know if that automatically translates to, like, they go to cpl.org and it's in that native language if their phone is programmed to a different language?
Don't know. I can find the answer for you, but they can always choose which language
Yeah.
they want to.
I was
and
just curious
yeah.
if someone already had non-English settings, if it translates or not.
I will find out.
Wow.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
This is great.
Thank you.
We're now moving into the president's report. I just wanted a few things that I wanted to talk about. Angela, you did a phenomenal job at the Hispanic Heritage finale. Thank you. That flamenco player. Yes. And Angela, well, we know that. But wow, I don't know. Where'd you get that flamenco player at?
Mrs. Vargas.
Oh my gosh, this guy was phenomenal. He really was, right? Thank you so much. Yeah, I think it was a busy day for the city of Cleveland itself. The Guardians were on fire and everything, but I think overall there was a nice turnout. Ashley brought a piñata. Was that not fun? John was holding, it was a team effort. You guys did a wonderful job, and thank you. Yeah, it worked. It worked. Oh my gosh, so much fun. But, and also, the foundation put on their Cleveland Reads event, which was another smash hit. Thank you so much on behalf of this board. We do appreciate it. And another one of my favorite events is the Dia de los Muertos. That wow, they had their exhibit that we are having has just expanded.
Oh, the ofrenda was fabulous.
Not only the ofrenda, oh yeah, that was the first time. For those of you that don't know what an ofrenda is, it's an altar that they make that they honoring past family members or somebody. Well, the library had an ofrenda there. It's in the church in the Cleveland Public Theater, and it was, what was it?
It was a card catalog.
They
Yeah,
used
the-
all the wooden card catalogs to be full.
And they put all the people, they were, yeah, it's very, very nice.
That was really cool. I don't know who, that was bright. And then they have a new float as well. We had a new float.
What, that was a bed?
A bed. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cool.
It was.
Yes, and me and couple of my nieces always come every year to help pass out books, and there was over 500 books, Ashley. Yeah. So, and one event that I won't be able to make, but I know other board members will be there, is for the legal aid meeting where Ruby Bridges will be speaking. Wow. And I apologize, but I know we'll be well represented. But I just want to thank everybody for all the work that they're doing to keep CPL on top. Thank you. Did anyone else want to add anything?
Oh, well, I guess, and this is on a monthly basis. So I have the privilege of also working with the library in my day job with my organization, Smart Development, when we do these newcomer days at the Cuyahoga County Welcome Center. For the past couple Newcomer Days, which is centered around helping newcomers get access to an array of services, especially jobs and family services, public benefits. The library has come to pass out free books and open up new library cards. So we actually recently it was MENA Day, so it was Middle Eastern Northern African Day. So Isabel and her team and the Milos was there, and there was over 150 people that came, and just seeing kids who, again, kind of on this idea of like expansion of language services, like get really excited when they see the library and like open up the library cards, and they're just really happy. I get like having like two different ways I interact with the library. So I just want to thank, I don't see him here. Or, yeah, he's not here. And I know Isabel's probably out.
What location was this?
So we do them monthly at the Welcome Center, which is close to the Cleveland Zoo in Old Brooklyn. It's a Cuyahoga County Jobs and Family Service building. We have an array of different services, and the library comes every single month and deals with all the craziness of people coming in and out all day, and they're just great to work with. So I just want to say thank you, Director, because I get to be really privileged in experiencing two ends, working with the library and then also serving as a board of trustees. So it's really great.
Thank you. That's very informative. Thank you. Director?
Well, actually, I'm saving my director's report to the end of this
Okay.
program. You'll see we don't have to come back or whatever, but we have a very special unveiling at the end.
Perfect. And communication, we have a letter?
Yes, this is from Gwen Raffenrid, and she says, "Good morning, Mr. Thomas. On Saturday, October 19, 2024, I visited the Huff Branch Library. What a wonderful branch manager, Marcy Williams. So please tell Marcy and staff you have very welcome with smiling faces and pleasant voices. I'm impressed with the location of the library and inside with abundance of diverse materials for families and children. I always enjoy coming down to the Huff Branch Library because I grew up there and it reminds me of the good times of being a young child and exploring our neighborhood. Keep up the magnificent work you all do for the community. Thank you for including my published books in your library," which is a little publicity thing she had there, but it was all good. So we pass this along to Marcy and all the staff at Huff. We appreciate the work they're doing.
Thank you.
Gotta go see what the bioswale looks like now. You planted wildflowers there, right?
Nice. We're now going to move into the Finance Committee report. Trustee Corrigan?
Yes, resolution one, exhibit one is a resolution accept the gifts for the month of October. Be resolved that the gifts described in the gift report for October 24 be accepted upon the conditions connected with said gifts in accordance with section 3375.40K of the Ohio Revised Code. Like all these resolutions in finance, it's in the public record and has been previously distributed to the board. So moved.
Second.
Ms. Butts?
Yes.
Ms. Carey?
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Rashid?
Yes.
And Mr. Burke?
Oh, yes.
Exhibit 2 is our customary resolution requesting tax advance. Be resolved that the Board of Library Trustees request that the County Fiscal Officer advance any tax funds that may be available to the library prior to the regular settlement dates during fiscal 2025. So moved.
Second.
Ms. Butts?
Yes.
Mr. Carrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Rashid?
Yes.
And Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Exhibit 3 is a resolution to accept a grant from the Cleveland Public Library Foundation for senior digital literacy programming. Be resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Cleveland Public Library, pursuant to the authority set forth in RC 337540K, hereby accepts this funding from the Cleveland Public Library Foundation in the amount of $10,000 to deposit into the Founders Fund account 20304646110-26801 restricted gifts to be used to offset the cost of the recently held Golden Gala and to support digital literacy initiatives targeted at senior audiences. Be it further resolved that the Executive Director, CO, or his designee is authorized to enter into and execute such agreements and instruments as may be necessary or appropriate to effectuate the terms and conditions of this resolution, which agreements and instruments shall be subject to the approval of the Library Director of Legal Affairs. So moved.
Second.
Is this a little different than Senior Day?
So this is different from
Okay.
Senior Day. So we were grateful to be able to receive this grant opportunity. We knew it was forthcoming, so we planned the Golden Gala, which I think my colleague spoke on last month. But I just wanted to uplift the focus on digital literacy and digital inclusion for our older adults. So we had about 250 older adults downtown at the main library, and we had breakout sessions, from Overdrive. Metro Health was a great partner. So they learned about telehealth. They learned about online scamming, how to prevent that. But we also had a guest speaker, an author, Meredith Moran. She came all the way from California to speak to our older adults just about adjusting in this new world. So we had a wonderful time. Our library staff members were very instrumental in making everyone feel comfortable at the library, and we're so grateful to AT&T to make this event possible.
I think I saw pictures on the Facebook page. It looked really nice.
Yeah, it was honestly, it was so beautiful. We had a DJ, we had music, they ate good, and we raffled off iPads. The one thing, I did not have coffee, so the next time. So they told me, trust me, I heard about that. So next time I will have coffee. Yes. Any other questions? Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay,
Excellent.
thank you.
Excellent.
That was pretty cool, right?
And second,
Second.
Ms. Butts?
Yes.
Mr. Kerrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Rasheed?
Yes.
And Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Exhibit 4 is a resolution to accept a grant from the Nord Family Foundation for the Prison Project. Whereas the library's prison project, initially funded by a grant from the Art for Justice Fund, aims to address our community's response to the injustices regarding mass incarceration. And the project will deliver programs, public artworks, artists, and community engagement in a symposium. Whereas to further this work, the Nord Family Foundation has awarded CPL a $35,000 grant to support the creation of an exhibition hub, symposium, and educational programming, complementing the artworks developed through the PRISM project. This grant aligns with the Nord Family Foundation's mission to support organizations that thoughtfully, inclusively, and equitably engage underserved populations. Now therefore be resolved that the board, pursuant to the authority set forth in RC 337540K, hereby accepts a grant from the Nord Family Foundation in the amount of $35,000 to be deposited in the Public Art Fund account 233-046-4610010915, restricted gifts. Be it further resolved, the executive director, CEO, or his designee is authorized to enter into and execute such agreements and instruments as may be necessary or appropriate to effectuate the terms and conditions of this resolution, which agreements and instruments shall be subject to the approval of the Library Director of Legal Affairs. So moved.
Second.
Ms. Butts?
Yes.
Mr. Kerrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Rasheed?
Yes.
And Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Tiffany, I didn't mean to cut you off. I did see
Oh, no problem. I'm happy to answer any questions. This is just furthering the work that we've been doing with funding from the Art for Justice Fund. We've received additional funding from the George Gunn Foundation, and you'll be seeing something from us next month with funding from the Fowler Family Foundation as well.
Do you know what the 3 additional mural spaces will be, or the 5 new artworks where?
So we held a open request for qualifications for artists that ended in October, and we received 108 applications to participate in this project. We narrowed it down to 15 semifinalists who will all be interviewed for the public art projects through this program. So hopefully by our December meeting, we'll be able to share our artist recommendations with you. The 3 mural locations are the existing art walls. So those are at our Harvard Lee branch, our South Brooklyn branch, and the Woodland branch. And this funding is specifically to help an education series that we're working to develop, which is looking at issues related to mass incarceration and how they're impacting people at the sort of more personal level. An exhibition hub. So what we're hoping to do is have a space at Main Library that will sort of tell the story of this grant and invite people out to the branches to see the rest of what we're doing. It'll be the only space where sort of everything is all together. So we're looking to do that at Main. And then the last component is something I'm really excited about, which is a symposium that will be taking place at the end of next year during Banned Book Week, where we are going to be inviting our library peers to talk about the ways that their libraries are addressing the most significant challenges their communities are facing. And our intention is to look at the sort of overall PRISM project as the library's contribution to that conversation. So these funds are helping to offset all of those costs. Yes. Yes, I think this is our first grant we received from the Nord Foundation. So thank you to Shanice and her team for building that relationship with us.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
We took about Exhibit 5 then. We'll go
Thank
on.
you.
Oh,
A
okay, I'm
resolution to
sorry.
accept a grant from Cuyahoga County for Family Space Program. Whereas the board accepted a grant from United Way of Greater Cleveland to support and administer the Family Space Program, which provides essential programming for families with young children. Be it resolved that the Public Library Board of Trustees, Cleveland Public Library Board of Trustees, pursuant to the authority set forth in RC 3375, hereby accepts a grant in the amount of $143,715.40 from Cuyahoga County for deposit into the Early Literacy Fund account 25804242100-28801 local aid, and be it further resolved that the director or CEO as designate is authorized to enter into and execute such agreements and instruments as may be necessary or appropriate to effectuate the terms and conditions of the resolution, which agreements and instruments shall be subject to the approval of the library's director of legal affairs. So moved.
Second.
Ms. Bunt,
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian,
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
and Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Exhibit 6 is a resolution to ratify the agreement to purchase for the purchase of natural gas, whereas on June 16th, the board authorized the executive director to enter into an agreement with commencing in November 22 with North Shore Energy Consulting, whereas Gas South LLC, which was previously known as Infinite Energy, provided a quote to supply natural gas service for a 33-month period beginning in November 24 at a rate of $5.30 per MCF, which the library accepted on September 24, 2024. Be resolved that the board hereby ratifies the agreement entered into by the library on September 24, 2024 with Gas South LLC at the rate of $5.30 per MCF for 33-month term effective beginning in November 2024. And congratulations to the staff for achieving this success in getting new gas supply. So moved.
Second.
Ms. Butts?
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian?
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
And Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Exhibit 7 is a resolution to declare urgent necessity and authorize agreement for Rice Branch Boilers Installation Project. Whereas the property management department has determined it's necessary to install 4 new boilers at the Rice Branch, and they initially estimated the cost of the project would be below the statutory threshold. Whereas the library issued requests for proposals to 11 businesses. Proposals were due on October 24th, and we received a sole response from Diversified Piping and Mechanical, $140,000. Whereas the department reviewed the proposal and determined Diversified Piping and Mechanicals contained all necessary aspects of the project. Pursuant to revised code section 3375.41, the library may dispense with statutory competitive bidding requirements and award a contract to directly to one or more contractors when the Board of Trustees determines that the situation presents an urgent necessity and/or for the security and protection of library property. Now therefore be resolved that the board declares an urgent necessity in the interest of protection of library property at the Rice Branch and waives competitive bidding requirements in order to move forward with the Rice Branch Boiler Installation Project. Be it further resolved that upon the recommendation of the Chief Operations Officer regarding that project, the board hereby establishes a $7,000 contingency representing 5% of the project cost, resulting in a total project cost not to exceed of $147,000. Be it further resolved, the executive director, the CEO or his designee is authorized to enter into an agreement for the installation of boilers at the Rice Branch with Diversified Piping and Mechanical for an amount not to exceed $147,000, which amount shall be charged to the general fund account number 177600553-53310 building repairs, and which agreement shall be subject to the approval of the library's director of legal affairs. As John has previously told us, this is involved, obviously, winter coming, getting boilers working is a very good reason for emergency process. And we did take steps to make sure we had many proposals. We just managed to shorten the time of the competitive bidding project, which is hereby waived. John, did I describe that well enough?
You did, thanks. I just want to acknowledge the property management team could have been more proactive with this, and we certainly missed the ball on our cost estimating. But we did a very thorough scope review with Diversified, went over lengths of pipes, numbers of elbows, numbers of sensors to tie into the building automation system. So even though we only got the one bid, I do feel like it's a fair and reasonable cost to the library for the work. We also talked to some of the non-responsive vendors, including some of our normal contractors who frequently do participate in library work, just to get a feel for why they didn't come out for this one. Really had to do with time of the year, booked work they already had, availability of staff. So I'm not sure we would have gotten a better, I think we can make a process improvement moving forward. I'm not sure it would have yielded a better result here. So I feel very comfortable with the contractor and the contract price.
Is there something unique with these boilers too? Because isn't Rice the branch with the,
Geothermal?
Yeah, geothermal.
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we didn't have geothermal, but we had several solar
stuff.
lead level.
It's a 15-year-old building now. So I know it's
Yeah.
one of the newer buildings in the inventory, but it's 15 years on the boiler. It would have been nice to get 20, but it's not, this is the life we got out of it.
second?
Ms. Bunt,
Yes.
Mr. Carrigan,
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
and Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Exhibit A is a resolution to enter into renewal agreement with OCLC And whereas the library has purchased OCLC catalog records for many years, whereas the library's interlibrary loan and resource sharing uses the OCL software, requires access to the OCLC WorldCat database. And whereas pricing for the catalog and metadata subscription in year one is $318,000, and pricing for the OCLC WorldShare ILL subscription is $8,243.70 for a total amount not to exceed $326,307.84. The fees for year 1 and 2, for year 2 and 3 of the subscription shall be guaranteed at the following rates. Catalog and metadata subscription will be 3.75% over the previous year's price, and WorldShare ILL will be 1.5% for a total 3-year cost of $1,015,438.08, as long as there is no material change in the membership of the CleveNet Consortium. Now therefore be resolved that the Board of Trustees approves the subscription renewal for the period July 1, 2025 through June 30, 2028. The cost for year 1 in the amount of $318,064.14 for the OCLC catalog and metadata subscription, and $8,243.07 for the OCLC WorldShare IL subscription, for a total amount not to exceed $326,307.84, along with the attendant guaranteed price increases of 3.75% over the previous year for the OCLC cataloging and metadata, and 1.5% over the previous year for the OCLC WorldShare ILL years 2 and 3, with the first year cost of $324,625.75 being charged the general fund account 1414005353800 library material control, and $1,682.09 being charged to Cleveland Special Revenue Fund account 2313010353800 library material control. And be it further resolved that the executive director, CEO, or his designee is authorized to enter into such agreements and execute other instruments or documents necessary appropriate to effectuate terms of this resolution, subject to the approval of the Director of Legal Affairs. So moved.
Second.
And for those who don't know, OCLC is an international cataloging operation that started here in Ohio. OC stands for Ohio College, actually, was how this started. Cleveland Public Library has been involved very much from the beginning, and most significantly, $1 million subscription over a period of time seems like a lot of money, but this is what makes us one of the top libraries in the country. There are really only, at best, 7 or 8 metro libraries that really do this as well as we do and are so close to OCLC. So I just commend the staff for maintaining our wonderful relationship with OCLC and for continuing to make the library as accessible as it is to the whole world because of this subscription.
Ms. Bunt.
Yep.
Mr. Carrigan.
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes.
And Mr. Parker.
Yes.
All right, if I could just acknowledge Sandy JRLL there, who does all that fantastic work. You don't have to come up, you can stay there. Yeah, you got your acknowledgement. Good job.
Sandy, I didn't mean to cut you off, but we're going so late today that I wanted to make sure. And did I speak pretty well on what OCLC? Okay, good, thanks. All right, Exhibit 9 is a resolution to amend design services agreement with Bostwick Design Properties, design partnership for the main library consolidation project, and to amend the project budget. Whereas in June 16, 2011, the board authorized the library to enter agreement with Bostwick. Whereas in April 19th, we approved an amendment. Whereas due to the need to finish upgrades, lighting replacements, and repairs to low-profile raised floor and reconfigurations of the Tech Central space on April 18, 24, the board approved an amendment to that agreement. Whereas Bostwick Design Partnership has now submitted a proposal to the library to perform the additional design services of developing 2 interior renderings at finish level to include interior finishes, lighting, and furniture based on current design for an additional fee of $5,200. Thus increasing Bostwick's total compensation under the agreement to $349,703.87, which fee this board finds to be fair and reasonable. Now therefore be resolved that the Board of Trustees authorizes Executive Director CEO as designee to enter an agreement to the agreement, an amendment to the agreement with Bostwick Design Partnership for the main library consolidation project, Phase 1, Tech Central, the amount of $5,200, thus increasing Bostwick's total compensation under the agreement to an amount not to exceed $349,730.87, which expenditure shall be charged at the Building and Repair Fund account 4019620555300, construction improvements, and which agreement shall be subject to the approval of the library's Director of Legal Affairs. Further resolved that the board approves the updated total project budget for Tech Central renovation project as set forth in Exhibit A to this resolution, which expenditures of $129,725.80 shall be charged to the Founders Fund account 203-962055530011962 using a gift from the Gene Z Piety Trust, and the remaining expenditures of $583,969 shall be charged to the Building Repair Fund 401 and hereby authorizes the Director, CEO, or his designee to move forward in taking the steps necessary to complete the Tech Central renovation project and to execute such instruments or documents as may be necessary or appropriate to effectuate the terms of this resolution, including those in excess of $75,000 and which are payable from the project budget established herein. Be it further resolved that the board authorizes the chief operating officer to reallocate the budget amounts set forth in Exhibit A for owners, contingency, and technology equipment as needed, provided that such reallocation shall not increase the overall project budget for the Tech Central renovation project. The library shall report monthly to the board on expenditures from this owner's contingency fund. So moved.
Second.
Ms. Butts?
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian?
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
And Mr. Parker?
Yes.
And I would be remiss if I didn't make a side note here. Bostwick Design Partnership won an international competition to be in charge of the redesign of, or the design of new space and the redesign of an old building at the University of Buffalo for the world's largest collection of James Joyce materials. And it's a real kudo that a Cleveland area architect got picked to do this really world literature and important thing, and because it's library connected and because of the work here is part of the reason they qualified for that job. So I just wanted to make note of that. If you see anybody from Bostwick, you should pat them on the back.
And when John Lane comes up, if you could talk a little bit about the programs that are the construction programs that are happening here at Maine. Trustee Rodriguez just asked me about the kitchen.
We took the vote on that already.
Yes.
Okay, Exhibit 10 is the resolution entered agreement with AT&T for fiber cellular service, whereas due to the elimination of traditional plain old television service, POTS, by telephone companies, the branches included in Phase 1 of the facilities master plan have had their POTS lines, which are connected to elevators, burglar, and fire alarms, replaced with wireless cellular technology. Where it's now necessary to replace POTS lines connected to other facilities not in the first phase of the facilities plan, whereas AT&T, the library's current provider of POTS lines, has proposed to provide fiber and cellular service to these branches at a cost of $117.49 per line per month. Whereas the library currently has approximately 70 POTS lines in service and estimates will need approximately 45 of the new cellular backup lines in place to implement the solution which is described in this resolution. Now therefore be resolved, the board hereby authorizes the executive director, CO, as designate to execute an agreement with AT&T for fiber and cellular services at the library facilities that were not included in the first phase of the facilities master plan at the rate of $117.49 per line per month, not including fees and surcharges, for a term of 36 months commencing on January 1, 2025, with the amount being charged at general fund account 1301005353210 telecommunications, and which agreement shall be subject to the approval of the Director of Legal Affairs. So moved.
Second. Ms. Bunce?
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian?
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
And Mr. Parker?
Yes.
For future investigations of this, I think the more we can encourage supportive digital C or sci-fi or any of the public efforts to bring public fiber and telecommunications into Cleveland, we should support it.
Absolutely.
Exhibit 11 is a housekeeping measure, the Ninth Amendment to the year 2024 appropriation, whereas the Ohio Revised Code 5705.40 provides an amendment of appropriation measure when necessary, whereas the aggregate of all appropriation classifications does not exceed the total amount submitted to the Board of Budget Commission. Now therefore be it resolved that all the sums indicated on the attached Ninth Amendment to the year 2024 appropriation schedule be approved. So moved.
Second.
And I always ask, what are the big item changes here?
What are the guiding changes?
The big
Never just ask.
The big ones is, the big one is the $39,999 in the Public Artwork Fund, and that is for the Nord Family Foundation grant that just went before you, and then a smaller LSTA grant in the amount of $4,999.
Great.
That's the biggest.
Thank you.
So moved.
Ms. Bunce?
So, yes.
Ms. Shakarian?
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
And Mr. Parker?
Yes.
The balance of the Finance Committee report is the Fiscal Officer's Report, Report A, Report on Investments, Report B, Report on Conference and Travel Expenditures, Report C, Report on all vendor expenditures, Report D, Report on expenditures made from the owner's contingency funds for the Half West Park Woodland Central Distribution Facility, Lorraine Eastman, MLK Junior, Brooklyn, Rockport, and Glenville branches, Report E, and Report on expenditures made from the owner's contingency fund for the High Density Shelving Project, Report F, and Report on expenditures made for the owner's contingency fund for the new main library staff break room project, Report G. Those are all for the month of October. So moved. They don't have to be approved. I apologize. Those are just turned in for the record. Thank you. That concludes Finance Committee.
Thank you so much, Trustee Corrigan. We're now going to move into the Human Resource Committee report. Trustee Shakarian, please.
I am pleased to present the regular employment report, Exhibit 12, detailing the new hires, resignations, retirements, and terminations, and compensation changes. So moved.
Second.
Ms. Bunce?
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian?
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
And Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Exhibit 13 is a retirement recognition. 43 years, Elaine Straka. Congratulations. Citation has been issued for Elaine on the occasion of the retirement. Senior Clerk, Cleveland Digital Public Library, as of October 31st. Be it resolved that this citation for the above staff member presented by the Board of Trustees in appreciation of their faithful and dedicated service given to the library be recorded in the minutes of this meeting, and be it further resolved that the citation be sent to them forthwith if they are not present at this meeting of the board. Is Ms. Straka here?
She's not, but we'll make sure.
Congratulations.
Yes, it's, yes, beautiful.
And my final exhibit, Exhibit 14, gives me great pleasure. A resolution.
Did we vote?
Oh, sorry, we did not vote. I skipped.
Second.
Thank you.
Ms. Bunce?
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian?
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
And Mr. Parker?
Yes.
The third and final exhibit, Exhibit 14, resolution authorizing bonuses. Whereas throughout 2024, the library's Human Resources Department conducted a variety of recruiting events to fill vacancies across nearly all library departments, resulting in approximately 163 positions being filled from January 1st of this year through October 31st. And whereas the library administration understands the challenges faced by library staff over the previous year as a result of inflation in the labor market impacting the library's ability to fill some positions. And whereas in recognition of the challenges faced by library staff over the past year, the library administration would like to extend the following one-time bonuses to active library employees employed as of November 2nd, 2024, and based on their position held as of that date, $1,000 for all full-time employees, $750 for all part-time regular employees, including pages whose status is part-time regular, $670 for page twos, $375 for substitutes, and $375 for page ones and part-time non-union staff. And now therefore be it resolved that the executive officer, CEO, the chief financial officer, and the chief talent officer are authorized to implement the bonuses set forth in this resolution to those employees who meet the above described parameters and are employed by the library on December 14th, 2024.
Isn't there going to be an addition to
And
this, please?
additionally, I want to note that the director of the library is exempt from this and is not part of the bonus structure here. This is for all staff of the library.
I second the amendment.
Ms. Butts?
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian?
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
And Mr. Parker?
Yes.
And you wanted, that was just the amendment, so you want to vote on that?
Yes, and I move incorporating the amendment into the exhibit. Move.
Second.
Ms. Butts?
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian?
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
And Mr. Parker?
Yes.
That concludes the Human Resources Committee report.
Thank you so much. We're now going to jump back into the community service report. Trustee Parker.
Yes, we've done exhibit 15 already. Then there's the monthly activity report H for your perusal. Why don't we do this? We'll go into any building status update, followed directly by advocacy, foundation, and then diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Thank you.
Thanks. I'll try to keep this brief and give you a break from the facilities master plan, but some outside the FMP projects at the main campus that Director Thomas alluded to. The Tech Central 2.0 construction is underway. If you happen to be down the lower level and want to peek in and see the status of the structure of the raised floor that was in disrepair that necessitated the project, you can see that it's on track for completion by February. Thanks for the approval of the amendment for the renderings, which will paint a nice picture for our patrons about what's coming soon at Tech Central 2.0. The Eastman Reading Garden lighting project is also well underway and on schedule for delivery in the first quarter. We're doing a lot of the infrastructure, electrical work in the garden now, getting ready to set the low bollard lighting. And we will be reopened temporarily, including for the Winterfest events, and then closed again when the lighting equipment arrives early in 2025,
Really, when is Winterfest?
November 30th.
Yeah, the day after Thanksgiving, isn't it?
The employee break room project is essentially complete. It is in punch list, although I will say the architect specs some stained concrete that I'm not crazy about, so I've asked them to add some carpeting to the space, so we're slightly delaying the opening of the break room. That does include a catering preparation kitchen, so it's not a full-on service kitchen, but it does have convection ovens, a scullery type of dishwashing system, and preparation space for food. So I look forward to making that available for either educational programming or for catering preparation for events in the library.
Nice.
And then just peeking ahead into 2025, we are getting ready to solicit for a design build team for the fire panel replacements at the downtown Main and LSW campus. That will be a large project. We are similarly complete with the design of the LSW roof replacement. It's 30 years, so it's time to replace the LSW roof before it starts leaking. We are nearly through with design of the patron restroom refresh on LSW lower level, but we're also now, board may recall, accepting the grant for the universal changing table last month. We're putting that into a project in the reading garden to introduce a new patron restroom. So I'm going to try to work the design of those projects together. That'll be 2025, probably more to come in terms of board resolutions in the coming months. So those are the big projects we're working on downtown.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Am I correct then at this point, the only branch that is still closed in work is the Glenville branch, and we haven't done the exchange at Martin Luther King yet?
So, we've been working with public services. It'll be a quick 2-week closure at MLK. So it'll be open through the CMSD school break and then one more week. I think the closure date is January 10th or 11th, and then the grand opening will be January 25th, Saturday.
Excellent.
And Glenville is closed for construction, yes, sir.
As is Walt.
As is, thank you. And just since you mentioned Waltz, board will remember approving the pre-construction services to Gilbane. They're going to start their new bid in December with the goal of having a GMP to bring to board by March or April. That should sync nicely with what our partners are telling us is happening with their structured review and their closing of all their financing. So Brian and I have been in regular communication with the Karam side of the project and Stephanie. Oh, yeah, I don't remember that date. I think it's in February. The Northwest Neighborhoods Community Development Annual Meeting will be the next opportunity to kind of be in front of the community on the status of the combined Waltz-Karam project.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Yes, come on, advocacy.
Thank you. So for advocacy, I just want to highlight
Oh
3
my
points.
gosh, you don't have
I'm a
to
little-
do that.
Yeah.
We don't want to say what
No,
John's
do
here to
not
say
what
about.
that's about. My colleagues have something to say, but not. But as it relates to advocacy, I just want to hone in on 3 points. So 26 out of 28 public library issues on the ballot were passed.
Great,
That
great.
was awesome. And it was at a 58 to 59% passage rate. So we were excited about that. And the Republicans still have a supermajority in the General Assembly. As it relates to what's happening now at the General Assembly, it's lame duck season. So about 1,000 bills have been put forth. Only 50 have been passed, which is very, very low compared to historical times, the same time during the same period and the number of bills. So only 50 have come out of being put forth and actually passed. I do want to call your
Have they been
attention.
passed, or they just been?
Not passed, just been put.
They will be voted on. as
Correct,
opposed to-
yes.
The rest are all buried in committee.
They're dead, yeah. As it relates to HB 257, it did have its 3rd hearing out of the Government Oversight Committee. And that particular bill is about allowing public bodies, in particular public libraries, to have their board meetings on a video conference. So we're hoping that a decision will be made during the lame duck season about that particular
Right
bill.
now, it's still illegal to do the Zoom.
We're not, no, yes, it was only temporary during COVID and now we're trying to
Right,
put it back.
After COVID, they wouldn't allow it
Correct.
anymore. That's what I thought.
Okay, as it relates to the foundation, thank you so much for everyone who came to the event. I hope you had a good time. I just wanted to give you a few stats. You probably got your thank you email with these stats, but we were able to raise over $86,000 in net proceeds from sponsorships and ticket sales, which is higher than what we did last year. So we were And then we had 200 guests attend. We had 6 renowned local authors, and we were able to raise another additional $9,000 in text to give in the silent auction. So I wanted to thank you guys for your support with that. It's all about goal setting right now, looking to outline our plan for fundraising next year after we hear Director Thomas's vision for the work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent.
And I think too, I know you said there was like over 200 guests, but a lot of that, there was a lot going on in the city that day.
It
So I think everybody was pressed in that.
It was.
There was so many other things going
Events,
on.
Yeah, and we were
Big
slated.
concerts, big sports,
Yeah,
everything. It
There
was
was a lot
busy.
going on.
Were there very many, I'm just trying to get a breakdown, so that was 95,000 total.
Yeah.
Were there very many people that actually gave 1,500?
I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but I would say the majority, 80% of our funding came from sponsorships.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, versus ticket sales and then the
Tickets were just
$1,500
$200.
bundle.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
For
you.
the diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Really,
I think Trustee Rodriguez spoke earlier about the marvelous work of the Latinos Juntos ERG. They have been working very hard over the past few months in celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month and also with the Dia de Muertos Parade. I hope I said that properly. So I just want a special shout out again to Maria Lopez, Marina Marquez, Jaime, Branch Manager Jaime, and Joanna Rivera Also to our property management team for their help and support and logistics in terms of getting everything set up and all of the hard work they put into getting the large parade materials there. So we really appreciate everything. And also to Ops with their On the Reading team and making sure we had all of our books and everything there. So thank you to everybody. It really takes a village to make sure that everything goes as well as it did on that special day. Also, as we continue our efforts to be more inclusive, DEI has partnered with the Human Resource Department and the Cleveland Site Center to offer a blindness basics training to our employees here at CPL. Our first training was Monday, November 4th. The course covers a range of covered the range of vision loss that individuals may experience and provided an overview of blindness etiquette to equip our participants for interactions with the visually impaired or blind individuals. Following the training, attendees toured OLBPD to learn more about its services. And this initiative aims to educate staff and provide additional tools so that we can better serve visually impaired patrons. So all of our sessions are currently being held at our Lakeshore facility, and it will go through December 19th. So I did have an opportunity to speak with HR, and all of our classes have been well attended thus far. And I think we have a few more openings or vacancies as we conclude December, the month of December. For November, in terms of Native American Heritage Month, we had 2 more activities in November, or two more events. We had on Tuesday, November 5th, we had our Lunch and Learn session with Dr. Paul Edward Montgomery Ramirez. His topic was Untold Stories of Ohio's Indigenous Peoples, tracing their history from ancient mound builders to the vibrant indigenous cultures that continue to thrive today. Trustee Corrigan, I saw that you attended the Lunch and Learn session, so thank you for that. That was offered to our staff internally. And then on Saturday, November 9th, we hosted Beyond the Past, Indigenous Voices of the 21st Century. It was held in our North Reading Room in the Popular Department. We had 2 guest panelists, Kara Bryden and Jessica Vallejo, that spoke about their Indigenous history, and that panel discussion was moderated as well by Dr. Paul Edward Montgomery Ramirez. Yesterday, November 18th, the DEI department, along with members of the FIT team, launched its intranet veterans page that focuses on resources available for veterans and honored our exceptional service, the exceptional service of CPL veterans. Staff can now easily access these resources through both our FIT and DEIAB sections on our intranet page. We encourage everyone to visit and take a moment to appreciate the incredible legacy of our the service that our veteran staff embody. And last but definitely not least, this December, Friday, December 13th, from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m., DEI will partner with OPS in support of the Palestinian American Heritage Society for their Winter Soak. Also, you can refer to it as their Winter Market event. It will be held at the La Center Conference and Banquet Facility in North Olmsted. Basically, this will be our first time supporting such an event. I also believe that this is the first time that the Palestinian American Heritage Society will be having a winter market event. We're excited about this opportunity to partner with them. We are excited about the opportunity to share about our collection. We have a robust collection that we would like to share with that community, and we hope to attract their participation in coming to visit CPL, because we know that there's a lot of heavy traffic with CCPL and our Westlake Porter Library partners. So we hope to get them to come check out CPL and see all the exciting things and programming that we have to offer.
So you said there's a market event. Where is that?
It's going to be at.
Olmsted.
It's gonna be at, yes, the
This is La Center in Westlake.
yes, La Center in Westlake, 25777
That's
Detroit
Westlake.
Road.
Mhm.
So, and if you want more information, we'll be sending out a flyer about that in case you all want to go visit and support.
Ashley, I just want to say thank you. Wow, you're busy. There's a lot going on. And I also want to thank you for keeping us informed too. You know, so many of us want to be involved as well. But yeah,
So we thank you
everywhere
for your
CPL is, there's Ashley doing something.
Well, you all are there too, so
And
thank
your
you for
team. Thank
supporting
you.
us. We appreciate it.
Of course, thank you.
That's the conclusion of the Community Services Committee report.
Thank you, Trustee Parker. At this time, there's no old or new business. We already did mention the one comment that was sent to us regarding the change of the website, and I believe Tana has already addressed it. But we have a special guest, the Reverend Pamela Pinckney. How are you, my friend? Welcome, welcome.
Hello, everybody. I gotta bring some light up in the place.
Yes, thank you.
Happy holidays to everybody, and if you're Jewish, happy Yantas to you. Let me give you a little poetry first. Thanksgiving Day, the Jesus Christ way. Thanksgiving Day, the American way. When food, shelter, and clothing are available to all, when the economy is designed to rise, not fall, when man and woman can sit and eat at the table, when no more abuse takes place against the disabled, when gavels of the righteous demand plumbing for homes, not prison, when all know that attending church is a right decision, when guns and weapons of warfare are no longer available as a choice, when females and our children really have a voice, when the 10 commandments of God represent peace, when the gospel of Jesus Christ is lived, not only preached, when financial negotiations are established across all borders, when religion and law truly are the order. This is what Thanksgiving Day is truly established to me. This is the Jesus Christ American way of fulfilling life's dreams. Happy Thanksgiving Day from me to you here in America. The red, the white, the black, the brown, the yellow, and the blue. To our land of promise, we must be true. And I just wanted to give you that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, good. Thank you so much.
And I wanted to I was listening, and Dr. Johnson, in terms of legislation, you know I'm willing to stand with you. See, you all are in the box. I'm outside the box. So they can't do the jack in the box on me. So if you want me to go down to Columbus.
We know your number.
Okay.
Michael knows how to reach you.
Yeah, and I will speak for you.
Of course you will.
I don't know what you need and what your goal is legislatively, but I am willing to. And Ms. Butts, you know, I'm a Butts too. And you know, I heard the inclusion today. I would like for the inclusion to be more inclusive of the Black, brown, and multiracial people. That's not eliminating Hispanic, anybody else, but I like to have some more of that because I see more violence and I see more mass incarceration. But the more we read, as I always tell you, the more we succeed, and we need to have more options for the Black, brown, and multiracial community because we're in a really critical political time. People are very angry. They're very afraid. And I will work with any of you to correct that. Everybody doesn't believe in Jesus Christ. That's your choice. That's your right. That's just what I believe. And I believe Jesus can represent a male or a female because women shed blood, perspiration, and tears and have been on a cross and have overcome a lot of things. So Jesus could be either way. But I just wanted to tell you that I'm willing to stand with you. And I want to tell you, Mr. Corrigan, not only are there 22 people selling my book and I'm not getting any rights, I just found another person selling my book, Choose Life, for $58 and $59. I'm not getting any of my other royalties from my book. And I'm challenged with that because the library took time to buy that book from me. And by the way, 2 of the lost books, not of the Bible, sir, but 2 of the lost books of Choose Life, I have found them and I'm going to bring them back to you when I come back to Cleveland.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love you all.
Thank you.
And let me know what you need from me.
All right.
And be safe during the holidays, please.
All right,
You too.
All
Please.
right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. At this time, we're gonna need to adjourn to the Libraries Records Commission meeting.
I just wanted to mention one other thing. The president's report always has more than we can cover, particularly an overly long meeting. But I did want to point out that I did really think the program for Indigenous peoples, that was a wonderful lunch and learn session that I was happy to be part of. But I also wanted to highlight John Skurdick, Michael Ruffing, and Stacy Brisker's work. We are really an amazing source for Frederick Douglass materials now because of the work that we've done. And it's a public research sort of thing rather than a high publicity item. But for those who care about the history and story of Frederick Douglass, it's important that we did those things. And I don't think Stacy's here, but if somebody will pass the word to her, we really appreciate all that she did.
Thank you.
Before you hit the gavel, can I invite you all to something?
Yeah, just real quick, because we're going into another meeting and we have to adjourn.
We need support from the library for women's rights and our women's marches. We want you all to come and be more present and supportive, that you support the voice and the vote of women, please.
Thank
And
you.
I'll let Michael know it's coming up in January. We just had one.
Right.
November 2nd. But it's getting real serious. They're taking the clock backwards.
Amen.
Do you want to
Thank you.
do the unveiling now, or do you want to do the commission and then go out this year?
Let's do the Records Commission meeting, and then we have an unveiling to do as part of the president's report before we adjourn. I know you have to go to work or whatever. So we'll just do the Library Commission's meeting. So,
Everybody can wait in the lobby
Yes.
here because this will be 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah, Records Commission is public.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, so then nobody has.
What do we need? Carrie, have a seat here and tell us.
All righty, very good.
Brian is the,
Nobody go anywhere,
Brian's the host?
yes.
including you,
I
Trustee
sit on the
Graham.
committee.
Barakowski.
Felton Director doesn't sit on this committee.
I know.
Okay.
You're like kicking me out. You said Mel doesn't sit on this committee.
You don't sit here. Go wait outside for us.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead, Brian.
We have to take roll.
Alice, he's taking a butts.
Mr. Corrigan.
He's
Yes.
taking a roll.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes. Here.
And Mr. Parker.
Yes.
And Ms. Krenicky.
Yes.
Okay, Brian.
So the first order of business will be approval of the meeting minutes from last year's Record Commission meeting.
Second.
Ms. Butts.
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian.
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Ms. Krenicky.
Yes.
And Mr. Parker.
Yes.
The second item for today's Records Commission meeting is an overview of the process. As with years past, there isn't been a change with our records retention schedule nor process for handling records. We've had no records disposed of in the last year outside of the retention schedule, so nothing's needed to be reported to Columbus. We did respond to a total of 17 public records requests in the last 12 months, totaling a total of 5,002 pages that were reviewed and produced by my office. And by that, I mean mostly Seth and Denise, our professional paralegal. That is the overview of the process for the last year. I also want to mention that at our previous Records Commission meeting, we were talking about our efforts to revise the records retention schedule. We made significant progress in that at the beginning of the year, but we have put those efforts on hold temporarily because as we went through the process to identify a new enterprise resource planning system, it occurred to us that a lot of these new systems are able to work with a records retention schedule and automatically delete records when their expiration period has passed. So we are looking to optimize this opportunity to set our records retention schedule in a way that will best be able to work with the new ERP system. That concludes our overview of the process, and the final item for today's meeting is a review of records to be disposed. And at this time, we have no additional records that need to be disposed of outside of the retention schedule.
Can I ask a question?
Yes,
Of
sir.
of the public records requests and 5,000 pages, was there one item that was the bulk of that in terms of pages?
We received 2 public records requests that we believe to be from the same person, although they were made anonymously, and they were requests for all of the personnel files of all of the branch managers. So those in total accounted for, I'd say, about 80% of that 5,000 pages.
Thank you, Brian.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much.
Move to adjourn the
Second.
Library Records Commission.
Ms. Bunt?
Yes.
Ms. Kerrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Morgan?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Greinke?
Yes.
And Mr. Costello?
Thank you. Yes, yes, go to work.
Director, you're gonna,
Oh, yeah.
Yes, if everybody could join us out here for the unveiling.
Thank you, Anthony.
No problem at all. And, you know, it makes sense not to go back.
I noticed those Rockford numbers are high.
Yeah.
It makes sense not to go to Metro as the bid or whatever.
Right, so is that okay with you?
Oh, that's perfect.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Sharon.
This will be very quick.
did I do finance quickly?
Yes.
You are awesome.
And can you sign checks Thursday? What do you guys?
Yeah.
Because I'm out of town.
Yeah, no problem.
You will?
Yeah, no problem.
Just wanna thank everybody for being here. Most of you are mandated to be here. So I just wanted to thank, where's Melissa Carr? There is Melissa Carr. Please give Melissa our, Melissa spent 40 plus hours over the course of the year developing this list, checking dates, spelling some names, and the honor roll that you will be seeing has over 150 names to it. A QR code will be placed on the wall next year, which the CPR archive will develop a page for CPL's website to provide information on each trustee. This is a trustee honor wall.
Wow.
Right? So 2 of the, if you didn't know, and this is Michael Ruffing's thing to find these facts that 2 of the first trustees, Sherlock J. Andrews and John Hay, were friends of Abraham Lincoln. Right? So Sherlock was the founder of the Cleveland Bar Association, and John Hay, many of us know from the John Hay School, but he was also the private secretary to Abraham Lincoln. And what it goes to, as you see the names, you will recognize that many of the names of people who are on this board changed the city of Cleveland and the country. And now this is just a tribute to the board and all the things that they have done in the history. So we're going to unveil this side first. I guess I'm doing it.
Because you're tall enough.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
So I mean, it's really interesting to go down and look at all the people who have been here, with things there. So a lot of names you see, lots of Thompson and other folks who have been part of this history of the city or board members. Then we go to this side.
He's over there, like he's tall.
So I know a lot of times people ask the board, like, or say something like, oh, those board members, they get paid for this. You guys, they don't get paid for anything, right? And we appreciate all of the efforts that the board members use for, giving direction to this organization. So this is an appreciation of our board room and the fact that as people would come here to look over the city, get to know a little bit more about our organization. Wow. So kudos Thank you guys. Thanks everybody. Get back to work.
We still got adjourn.
I think we need to adjourn the meeting. Bye, Beth.
Second.
So moved.
Yes. I will see you Monday.
I'll see you Monday, yes.
That was curious.